Hi, my name's Nathan Doyle. I'm a swim coach who has been on the Australian team for the past decade. My passion is working with athletes with a disability, and over my 10 years, not only have I been fortunate to work with many athletes with many different impairment types, I've been able to take them to the pinnacles of sport and achieve gold medal performances. Not only do I love coaching, but my passion is for people with a disability to reach their full potential. In swimming, we work with a number of different impairment types. Our physically impaired swimmers range from people with cerebral palsy, leg amputees, arm amputees, all the way through to wheelchair and spinal injuries. And each degree of impairment type requires different nuances and different considerations when working in the aquatic environment. A wheelchair user will obviously need access to the facility. So whether that's through ramps, through chair lifts, or through an extra pair of hands to be able to help introduce them to the water. A leg amputee won't be able to use their prosthetic in the water, so they'll need to make sure that there's access considerations made for them when entering and exiting the water. Arm amputees, whilst conducting swimming, may need longer rest periods, as using only one arm for continual repetitions may fatigue them faster than someone who would be able-bodied or with two arms. So they're all considerations and differences that we would have to consider when training with someone with a physical impairment. Someone with a visual impairment may need greater assistance in assessing dangers in their environment. In the swimming pool, that may come from the wall, from others in the water, or anything that may be a factor that requires them to visually see or a visual cue in order to react. People with an intellectual impairment may require different communication strategies in order to learn and remember the set task in front of them. So it's really important when working with someone with an intellectual impairment, we take the time to create understanding, which will help, create an environment for them to achieve in, but also receive feedback. It's really important that two-way communication happens so we can assess as to whether or not the understanding is there first, and then assess with feedback about how to undertake and improve on the skill in front of us. People with hearing impairments may require additional communication in order to be able to undertake activities. This may be through hand signals, writing on the board, or generally slowing down so they're able to lip read during the session. Most hearing impaired athletes will not be able to wear a hearing aid in the water, so therefore their hearing during the session may be limited to them when they're outside. People with transplant-related impairments may require longer rest periods. The broad nature of transplant athletes means that each one may have a difference in terms of the amount of rest. It's really important we work with those athletes to understand what their constraints are, what their requirements are in terms of rest and recovery, and we work with them to create a supportive environment to get the most out of their training. We also have people on the autism spectrum, people who have Down syndrome, and other related intellectual impairments which require additional resources and potentially additional work to be able to get the most out of those athletes. It's most important that we work with these athletes, communicate with them or their parents on the best ways to be able to get the most out of their activities. With over a decade of working with athletes with a disability, my biggest take-home message to you, teachers, coaches, and people working with swimmers with a disability is always communicate, find out what solutions, what's the best solution for them with their impairment type, but most importantly, learn from the individual in front of you. The key thing is we need to be able to make that body in water swim faster. And that can only happen with a great understanding, a supportive environment, and trust between the participant and the coach. So go out there, think outside the box. There is no textbook for some of these athletes with a disability, and it's an opportunity to really rewrite the script, rewrite the opportunities that that person has in front of you, and enjoy the process, because not only is it as rewarding for the athlete that's in the water, but as a coach, it's a really rewarding process to see someone at the end of the day improve and really enjoy the process at the same time.